Okay, so about why pessimism can be so helpful, because it's profoundly un-American to be pessimistic when you have a goal. And I just want to encourage you to think about using pessimism as actually a source of willpower. So there's this kind of finding floating around that people who are most optimistic about their ability to make a difficult change give up sooner and are most likely to fail. And it tends to be because they are shocked by their setbacks. And so one of the ways that predicting failure can be helpful is that when it happens, it's not like some shock to your system where you can't believe it happened, it must say something bad about who you are or about your likelihood of success in the future. There's also interesting studies, as I mentioned, that optimism, well, this is both progress and optimism, but studies show that if you have people make optimistic predictions about what they're going to do, they're more likely to then not do it today. So people who intend to exercise tomorrow are more likely to eat something unhealthy today and skip the gym. And even just having people think about what they're going to do in their future makes people more likely to make a different choice today. And so just knowing that you're going to be just as tempted tomorrow, you're going to be just as busy tomorrow, just as stressed out tomorrow, turns out to be an important source of willpower today. Okay, and then this, I just had to throw this in because I think this is one of the funniest findings in the willpower research, that 75% of corporations that are investigated by the SEC for fraud can be tracked back to initial optimism that then people were unwilling to let go of. They were so optimistic about their profit projections, that when they met their first setback, they didn't know what to do and they started to fudge the numbers. And this is something that we all do with our own goals when we set very high ideals and then refuse to adjust our expectations based on reality. And this is something I run into a lot at Stanford. People say they want to make big change or they have a big goal in mind. And they aren't the least bit interested in setting a small goal or a baby step, because like, how is that going to ever get me where I want? So let's go big or go home. And then when they start to run into problems with that huge level of success, they kind of hang on to the ideal and yet end up doing nothing. And so you can think of yourself as your own little corporation with goals. And if you find yourself hitting setbacks, one of the most important things you can do is adjust your expectations and take a really serious look at the process of how failure is working.